Ogito galande, alas kuskis kajista you. Ijali alija hoi, nagati, janiskita hoi. Without Father for everything you've done for us and continue to do for us, and continue to guide our minds and our hearts and our communities, Lord, and continue to bless our Cherokee people and keep your hands over us as we navigate these times, Father, and protect us and guide us going forward, and that you may give us the mind of Christ to make good decisions, Lord, in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. We're done. Councilman Poindexter. Shelley, can you do the roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Joshua Sam,
Here.
Kevin Easley, Sasha Black Fox Qualls, Danny Callison, Julia Coates,
Here.
Joe Deere, Mike Dobbins, Lisa Hall, Johnny Kidwell, Daryl Legg, Kendra McGady, Dora Patskowski, Cody Poindexter,
Honey?
Mike Shambaugh, Melvina Shotpouch, E.O. Smith, Condessa Teehee. We have a quorum.
All right, thank you, Shelley. All right, has everyone had a chance to look over the minutes from the December 17th, 2024 regular session meeting? Got a motion and a second. All in favor? All right, that passes. All right, let's jump into reports. Starting with Cherokee Nation businesses, we have Mr. Ben Blosh.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Speaker, tribal councilors. Good afternoon. Great to be back here with you all again. I'll be reporting on December's financial results. For the month, on a revenue basis, we finished up year over year, but less than we expected in our budget. The growth year over year is attributable to Cherokee Federal, with a slight decrease at C&E. Some of the softening we've experienced in our gaming markets returned after an outstanding November. And I think although it's appropriate to compare year over year, I think it's also important to compare our results today to what they were pre-COVID, because that's our benchmark in these previous years. And there was a real phase shift up after COVID when everyone had stimulus checks and the exuberance to get out, see your friends, see your family, to have a good time. Our gaming revenue reflected that. And in my mind, it's been impressive how much of that we've been able to maintain. So if we compare on a same-store basis in the reservation gaming in 2025 through the first quarter and 2019 through the first quarter, revenue's up 13% and EBITDA's up 25%. So we've grown revenue and become more efficient, converting that revenue into profit. On an enterprise-wide basis, for the month, net income finished over budget, although revenue was under budget, and that was due to lower than expected expenses. On a year-to-date basis, a Q1 2025 basis, similar story to December, revenue up year over year, slightly under budget. We're within 1% of our revenue budget, but not quite there. And in terms of net income, we're up to our budget and up year over year. That concludes my report. Happy to take any questions.
All right, Joe?
I don't have a question. I got a comment to take back to your team. You came to our Food on the Move event the other day, and your volunteers showed up in forces. So I'm always glad to see CNB continue to be partners with us at Food on the Move in Tulsa. And the number of people that you fed that day, you got to see it. And I just want to tell your team thank you for taking the time out of the day for doing that. So I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate that comment. Quite frankly, our pleasure. It's not the worst thing to get out of the office and help some people out during the day.
All right, Speaker?
I guess Arkansas preparing briefs, preparing for hearings, or is that the process that we're in right now?
Yes, sir, that's the process. Not much of an update from what Chuck provided last month. I believe depositions are starting soon, and those judicial machinations will grind forward as they do, but not much to update.
Okay, thanks, sir.
All right, Cody?
Can you hang around afterwards? I got a question afterwards.
Yeah, of course.
All right, do we have any other questions for Ben? All right, great report. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, next on the agenda, we have Miss Janice Taylor with the Treasurer's Report.
Good afternoon, Council.
Good afternoon.
You have a copy of my report, and I always feel like the report does not adequately reflect just how busy the Office of Financial Resources is. There are tons of reports that yearly reports that are due in January for the preceding year ended 12/31. I do there is a report that goes along with the opioid settlement that we received a few years ago. And it's a collaborative report, requires career services, public health, behavioral health, the scholarship Cherokee Nation Foundation. And this year when I was collecting all of the information, I was really impressed. I know that Chief has said we are taking care of this addiction problem in our reservation, paid for by the opioid industry. But just pulling all of that together and seeing it on paper, you all should be so proud of the legislation that you passed, making the framework for that, and I couldn't be more proud of what we're actually doing with that settlement. It is being used for good every day, and so I appreciate your help with that, and it just struck me when I was putting it all together. We are in the midst of our yearly audit. That is a time when the outside auditors come in and look at how we've conducted business, how we've documented business. You will be getting your audit reports the end of March. I expect it to be a clean audit, as it always is. And the auditors always sit down with us, and we look at this as an opportunity to improve our processes, to improve how we document stuff, how we are transparent, and frankly, just how we are good stewards with the money that we have. It's a lot of work for my team, but we always come out better on the other side of it. So those are the two big things that I have.
Do we have any questions for Treasurer? All right, it doesn't look like it, but again, what we wanted, was it? Oh, Julia, you got a question?
Yes, thank you. Treasurer Taylor, I was just wondering if you had any kinds of comments to make about the recent attempt to restrict funding or to freeze funding to any federal grants that had been made for DEI, woke, green energy, all of these kinds of categories. I mean, I can easily see how grants to Indian tribes for certain kinds of programs that we fund could fall under that. And I wonder if, if thought has been given to it. I'm sure it has, but if you could make any kinds of comments on any perceived threat.
Well, the thing that is most concerning, Councilor Coates, and I'm sure you are probably uniquely aware of this, is that the federal government views us as part of that diversity, equity, and inclusion group, rather than a government-to-government relationship, and also that they have trust and treaty obligations that have been in place for hundreds of years. And so that is the thing that is most concerning to me, is that the lack of education in Washington, D.C., that we should fall under the DEQ guidelines. What we have found on Monday, or was it Tuesday, they paused all, turned off all the federal grants. And of course, we immediately positioned ourselves to continue to care for our citizens like we always have, with or without those being on. We had a lot of trouble accessing the portals that we needed to either draw down funds or send reports in. But when the dust kind of settled, what we found was that they were combing those notice of funding opportunities for the language that would be counterintuitive to the president's executive order on the diversity, equity, and inclusion statements. And so a lot of those have opened back up, and we are formulating our response to any questions that may now be on those applications. How we're actually a government. You actually have a treaty and trust responsibility to us. We are not just a set-aside group. So does that answer your question? Or, I mean, certainly we are in the weeds with figuring out how we're going to respond to it.
Yeah, it does answer my question, and I think that as with so many things, including the recent decision from DOI about the UKB, that that understanding of us as a government
Right.
just, rather willfully sometimes just goes over people's heads, or at least that's how they want to present it. And so I'm glad we're on top of it. I trust we will continue to stay on top of it.
Yes,
So,
absolutely. And
thank you.
you all, not just for Councilor Coates, but all of you, if you have concerns out there in the communities, please direct them to, if you feel like it's to be directed to me as far as the funding goes or as far as lapse in services. We've always taken care of our people. We were doing it last week. We'll continue doing it. So do not hesitate. I tell you guys all the time, call me anytime. You've got my phone number. Stop by. I'm happy to sit down with you, tell you what I know. If I don't know, I will find out.
All right. Any other questions, comments? All right. Thank you, Treasurer.
You're welcome.
All right, let's move on down to Career Services. Looks like we have Hunter here for us.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's good to see you all here today. You guys have the report. I'd be glad to take back any questions you may have, but I did want to highlight, every month we try to highlight at least one of our client success stories, and as you may see a familiar face on the front cover of this month's in the story, and you may recognize this gentleman. He's sitting right over here in the corner. He's one of our former participants. That's been a great success story for us, and we're proud of him, and we continue to try to make success stories every month for our Cherokee citizens, get them into sustainable full-time employment opportunities and helping them with those opportunities for, especially at the Cherokee Nation. So do you have any questions?
All right. Do we have any questions for Hunter? Kendra?
I don't have a question, but I would like to speak with you for just a moment. If you could hang around?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions, comments? All right, Darryl?
I just got a comment, and, I see Kenneth over there, and that just, I appreciate what Career Services can do for everybody, and we appreciate you and all the work that you do for us here at the Tribe. Appreciate you.
All right. Thank you, Hunter.
Thank you.
All right, let's move on down to Commerce Department with Miss Anna Knight.
Good afternoon. You have a copy of my report, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. I will say that the SSBCI program is in operation, and it's operating. We're getting a lot of interest in it, and in March, we'll open up to the states that are contiguous to Oklahoma, and then in July to the rest of the nation. So we're excited. We have a lot of interest in it. We have a lot of loans that we've already received that are pending. So, yeah. Can I answer any questions about the report?
All right, any questions for Miss Anna? All right, looks like none. Great report,
All
thank
right,
you.
Thanks.
All right, let's move on down to the consent items. Has everyone had a chance to review those? Have any questions for Jody on them? Jody, got anything to share? All right, doesn't look like we have any questions. We'll move on down to old business,
Yes, ma'am.
none pending.
Yes, Sam? I'm sorry, I actually do have one question.
Okay, Julie, go ahead.
Yeah, Jody, I see that something that I sent in probably, I think more than 10 days ago has not shown up on the community assistance. I just wanted to confirm that you do have that.
If you could get with Gail.
Okay,
And we'll make sure that that's, whether it's just not on the list or if it's, if she didn't get it for some reason, so.
okay. She did respond to me, so I think that it was received, but
Okay.
I'll send it again or,
Okay,
yeah. Thank you.
you're welcome.
All right, thank you, Jody. We'll move on down to old business, none pending, new business. Cody, can you take that first one for us?
25-011, this is an act amending Legislative Act number 34-24, authorizing the comprehensive operating budget for fiscal year 2025-mod 5 and declaring an emergency, and I put that in the form of a motion.
All right, I got a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion on this? All right, all in favor, say aye. Any opposition? Motion passes. All right, let's move down to announcements. Do we have any announcements right now? All right, the next meeting is tentatively scheduled for Thursday, February 27th at 3 p.m. Need one more motion. Motion and second. We're adjourned.